In today's video, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in or moving to Murrieta, California. So stick around to the end. Some of the cons might make you reconsider wanting to move to Murrieta. And let's get into it right now. Hi, my name is Steve Batiste. I'm the broker owner of Next Home West Realty, and we get calls, emails, and texts every single day from people just like you wanting to make their move into Southern California, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email anytime, day or night, and I'd love to help you make a smooth transition into the area. All right, pro number one is going to be safety. Murrieta has been known for a long time for one of the safest cities in California, one of the safest cities in the United States. I mean, at one time it was ranked the #1 safest city in California. It slipped down a little. I think Irvine might have taken over the top spot, but Murrieta is a lot more affordable. Murrieta has its own police force. They're tough on crime while not being too imposing. I went and visited my daughter out in Texas, and like the police out there are like, man, if you go 1 mile over the speed limit, they're gonna pull you over and write you a ticket. You don't really feel like that in Murrieta. There are some motorcycle cops. You got to watch out for the motorcycle cops. They're the ones that'll write you the tickets. But you know, for the most part, you don't feel that same kind of pressure that you do in other parts of the country. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want them to come write me a ticket for saying this, but you know, usually Murrieta police are like, you know, A-okay, everything's cool. You know, if one of you guys was watching this, it wasn't me. Number two is it's a very family-friendly community. Murrieta is pretty well known to be a family-friendly community. There's not a lot of nightlife around Murrieta, not a lot of bars. There are some. If you want to go do that, you can go down to Old Town Temecula or, you know, go into Temecula. There's some, you know, smaller bars. For the most part, it's single-family homes throughout the area. The schools are like top rated in the area as well. Some of the schools are rated higher than others. If you want to know, if you need some, you know, some guidance there, just let me know. There's pros and cons of, you know, moving to one part of Murrieta versus the other part of Murrieta based on what you're actually looking to accomplish. So if you have specific questions like that, just, you know, feel free to reach out to me. Murrieta, in my opinion, is one of the most affordable, family-friendly cities in Southern California. Yes, you can find homes cheaper if you go a little bit further out, but the crime rate is going to go up significantly. So when we're talking about safety and affordability, they kind of go hand in hand. I mean, I could sell you a house in the middle of a really bad neighborhood for really cheap, but you're probably not want to live there. As far as the housing prices go, Murrieta is fairly inexpensive in comparison to the rest of California. The same house, the same square footage you find in Murrieta, you can find for $600,000-$700,000. If you move out to the coast, you're looking at $1.5-$1.6 million easily. So when you're looking at safety, when you're combining everything all together with affordability, Murrieta is definitely your spot. The number 4 pro is going to be quality education. Like I said earlier, Murrieta's schools are rated pretty high. So if you go to niche.com and you look at the school ratings, you'll see that Murrieta schools are rated 9s and 10s pretty much across the board. All the high schools are excellent high schools. They're not overcrowded. They just put in a new high school not too long ago. I mean, depending on when you watch this video, it could have been a long time ago, but they're building up the high schools as the population grows in the city. So education, no complaints. I've had 3 kids graduate from the Murrieta school system, and they're all doing really good. So there you have it. The number 5 pro is going to be Murrieta's strategic location. So Murrieta is located kind of in between San Diego and Los Angeles. It's about 30 minutes south of Riverside County. A lot of people, you know, if they're in the Marines or in the Navy, they'll move up to Murrieta and they'll take the commute. Down to San Diego, you're probably looking at an hour to an hour and a half, depending on traffic. Los Angeles, an hour and a half to 2 hours Also, depending on traffic, if you work in Irvine or in Orange County, Long Beach, you can get to in about an hour and 15 minutes from Murrieta. That's with no traffic. But again, there's always traffic in Southern California, during the traffic hours. But if you can go after or before, it's an hour and 15 minutes. During traffic, no guarantees. I've had some nightmare experiences going from LAX out to Murrieta. One time it took me 4 hours to get home, but that's kind of rare. There's also express lanes. If you want to pay the toll going back and forth, if you have a clean air vehicle, you can jump in the express lanes without the toll. Going down to San Diego, there are HOV lanes going down that way, so if you carpool, you can do that too. Heading out to Orange County, if you're going to go to Irvine, there's a toll road, the 73 toll road, which you have to pay to get on. But if you're trying to cut back on some of that traffic time, and you don't mind paying the tolls, go for it. If you have a clean air vehicle or an electric vehicle, it's a no-brainer. It's not that far of a drive. For the type of house you're going to get, it's well worth it. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living, sleeping, breathing, playing in Southern California, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I come out with a new video about living in Southern California. So now some of the cons, and I mentioned con number one earlier in this video. There is very limited nightlife in Murrieta, actually in the city, but you're close to Old Town Temecula. You're close to like Riverside. You're close to a lot of places, a lot of entertainment. Temecula has one of the largest Indian casinos in the country, Pachanga, which if you go into it, you feel like you're actually in Vegas. It's a really nice casino. They have concerts, shows, they clubs in the casino, and plenty of gambling, plenty of restaurants. Also, if you want to, there's a lot of really good restaurants in Murrieta, but in my opinion, some of the best restaurants in the area are actually in Old Town Temecula, which, depending on where you are in Murrieta, the longest it's going to take you to get to Old Town Temecula is probably going to be about 25, maybe 30 minutes, depending on traffic again. But there's a lot of back roads too, so usually it's not a factor once you're in the city. Con number two is going to be the commuting challenge. So driving up from San Diego or going down to San Diego in the mornings and in the afternoons, you're usually going to hit some traffic coming into Temecula and going out of Temecula. There's like a bottleneck there. Then once you get down into Escondido where the 78 comes in, you're going to hit more traffic. But depending on how far into San Diego you have to go, it could take you, in the morning, it could take you a good bit to get there. Coming home, you're usually going to hit traffic once you start to get into Temecula area. Rainbow exit, you're going to start backing up. There used to be a border checkpoint. Actually, it's still there. You don't see it open that much. They used to have it open during traffic hours, and it would slow down traffic considerably. The positive on that is that they are working on the roads coming into Temecula where the 15 and the 215 split, and they're trying to ease some of that traffic congestion coming into Murrieta. So it'll open up the flow. Depending on what part of Murrieta you live in, if you're living off the 215 side or off the 15 side, sometimes the 15 gets blocked up where the 215 is wide open and vice versa. But for the most part, traffic's not that big of an issue. Yes, it can add probably on average of 30 minutes to your commute if you're going at traffic time. But if you're not, if you don't have to go into San Diego or go into LA, traffic around the city, you can usually avoid getting on the freeways. If you're commuting to Los Angeles, on the other hand, going up, getting onto the 91, sometimes that can get congested. I usually go on the HOV lanes or the toll road when I'm going to LA, back and forth from LA to to Murrieta because I just don't want to deal with the traffic congestion. There's still some, even after you get off the toll roads, coming back from Los Angeles. After you get off of the 91, you're still going to run into a little bit of traffic. And yes, it can add some time to your commute. You're going to kind of have to, gauge that based on, where you're going and at what time you're leaving. Sometimes you'll find if you leave just 30 minutes earlier, you'll avoid a lot of that traffic. So con number 2 is definitely the traffic, but anywhere in Southern California, you're going to run into traffic. Con number 3 is going to be the hot summers. Some people like the heat, some people don't. If you don't like the heat, the summers are going to be brutal. I was going to say almost every house in Temecula, Murrieta area has air conditioning, so the heat is not that big of an issue if you can go, from your house to your car to wherever you're going and then go inside. But if you're having to stay out into it, I've seen the heat get up to 115 degrees during the summer. It can get hot. Because of that, Murrieta has, what they call fire season. So you'll see, wildfires will erupt in the area. But the fire departments are usually pretty good about getting those under control really quick. So if you like the heat, great. The temperature in Murrieta is usually either 10 degrees warmer than it is on the coast, sometimes more, or 10 degrees colder. So if it's, if you're during the winter, if it's 70 degrees on the coast, it'll be 60 degrees. During the summer, if it's 80 degrees on the coast, it'll be 90 degrees in Murrieta. So just kind of use that as a gauge. But check the Weather Channel. It'll kind of give you, like yearly temperatures or what to look forward to. I don't particularly mind the heat because it's not a dry heat. It's not like I was raised in the South. When it's 90 degrees in the South with the humidity, it's miserable. In Murrieta, there's really no humidity, so it's really not that bad unless you're out in it all day long and that sun's beating down on you, then it becomes a problem. But con number 3 is definitely going to be the heat. Con number 4 is the limited public transportation. I'm trying to think of anything. I know there's buses in Murrieta. Don't see them too often. There are bus stops. There's no subway. If you want to get on the Metrolink, you're going to have to drive up to Riverside to hit the Metrolink. Trying to think, I think in Corona too. The Metrolink will actually get you into Los Angeles. It's a train system that we have in Southern California that's pretty good. But as far as public transportation, you're kind of limited to the bus system in Murrieta. If you want to know how to work the bus system, let me know. I can help you out with that, but never ridden the bus. If you live in Murrieta, you're going to definitely want to have a car. And number 5, and this is the reason that some people are, maybe not wanting to move here. Going back to con number 3, which was the heat and the fires that happen out here. A lot of insurance companies are pulling out of Southern California in general. One huge company just pulled all their basically is canceling all their insurance contracts in Southern California. Had a client call me the other day and say, what do I do? And I said, just, calm down. We'll find, they've got to have insurance for your house in Southern California. But the insurance rates have skyrocketed because of the wildfires that we have in Southern California. So before you buy a home, we need to check the insurance rates, get a quote from your insurance company and make sure that you can afford the house and the insurance. Some insurance companies are charging $200 a month for insurance, where a couple of years ago it was like $100 a month. So the rates have gone up. It is what it is. We have to live here. We have to have our homes insured. But if you have questions, you need some contacts to get in touch with some insurance people, let me know. I'd love to help you. Okay, so if you want more information on living in Murrieta, check out this video over here. Or over here, I think it's going to be over here, to learn more about living in Murrieta. And I have a whole playlist about living in Murrieta too, so you might want to check that out. Again, if you have any questions, you need anything, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Love to help.